Hey, how's it going? I'm IlaGolden and welcome to Ila Reads.
Echoe felt as though she'd been at the police station for days, although at the rate at which the elves were passing it might as well have been. A part of her was grateful they appeared to believe her story, especially once she'd given them details of all the events leading up to it. What bothered her was the way in which they made her go over it again and again and again, until she couldn't be sure if she was telling them a series of real events or reciting the details of a novel ad nauseum. "Hello there, Miss Sweetcharm. Do you mind giving us a reading of your Strek energy?" A mousy-faced urban pixie, wearing a lab coat and holding one of the strangest-looking contraptions Echo had ever seen, entered. No, I don't mind at all. I'll do anything to find out what really happened." "Okay, then." She placed a silvery-coloured block which looked almost like a part of the inside of a speaker down on the table in front of her. "What I need you to do is use your telekinesis to push this block towards the edge of the table. This device will then register the energy signature unique to you, and we'll be able to use it to separate your signature from any others we might find." "Because I use my own telekinesis to open the door?" "Exactly," she nodded. "Does it matter how much force I use? Because I was at full strength battling the door and—" "It doesn't matter what the strength of your attack is. It will still have the same energy signature. So just use whatever force you feel necessary to push the block across the table." Echo nodded as she sucked in a deep breath. The concentration needed to move the block was almost effortless and felt strangely light compared to her last exercise in telekinesis. "Wonderful." The pixie moved the block back to its starting position. "One more time, please." Echo repeated the process, amazed at how quickly the memory of her struggle was fading, although she wasn't sure if that was a good thing or not. "Okay, I've got all the readings I need," she beamed. "Now I just need to test everyone else who was at the theatre today." "Just the Strek users, or—" "Oh, don't worry. I'm more than aware other elementals can form rudimentary forms of kinesis, so I will be testing everyone. And if you don't find a match, then we'll know whoever is behind this isn't one of the people known to be at the theatre." Her face took on a thoughtful expression. "I know that must feel a little disconcerting to you, probably more so than the idea it might have been someone you know. But don't worry. Our next step after eliminating your fellow cast members will be to run it against all the signatures we have on file. And if it's not a match to any of them, then we'll just have to rely on the evidence my fellow lab techs are collecting to track this person down. Don't worry, Miss Sweetcharm. We'll get this guy." "I hope so." Echo felt her insides squirm at the uncomfortable notion it might have been a Mano, more specifically, Mika. She didn't like thinking bad things about him, especially after the number of times he'd saved her life, but that was part of the problem. He was always around when her life was in danger. What if he was the one putting her in danger? Would there be any way of proving it? She couldn't help but shudder and squirm at the thought. On the surface, Mika seemed so nice, but what if years of silently stalking Echo had turned his obsession into something a lot more dangerous? "Echo, thank light you're okay." Her patch burst through the door almost as soon as the lab tech had left. "Lilith called to let me know what was going on, and I got her as soon as I could. Your murmur is checking it up on Sunny now. Do you really think the fire was set deliberately?" I don't know if the fire was deliberate or not. Echo could feel the tension in her expression. But once it had started, someone definitely wanted to make sure I didn't escape it. "I just can't believe anyone would want to hurt you, sweet bat." He shook his head. "Nor can I, not really. But this is just the latest incident in an ever-growing list, and, well, someone was definitely trying to keep that door shut, so I can't just write this one off as an accident." "Okay, I understand. That's why I think you and the kids should stay with your mama and me until this is sorted." "What? No, Patch, I couldn't. I don't want to worry the kids. And I don't want you putting yourself in any unnecessary danger." "But I won't be. Nothing that's happened so far has happened outside of the theatre, so either this person doesn't know where I live or they have no intention of hurting me there. They haven't done anything outside of the theatre yet, but from the sounds of it, the place is going to be shut for at least a week, probably longer, for repairs. What if this is what whoever it is, needs to motivate them into upping their game? But I honestly think their plan is just to scare me away from this production." She shook her head. "If they start doing anything anywhere else, then I don't want to take that chance, sweet pat." "Well, it's my chance to take, but if it makes you feel any better, you can stay around mine for a few nights. There's still a bed in Near's room." "And what will you tell the kids about that?" "I'll tell them there was a fire at the theatre and it's left me with a bit of a cough, so you've decided to take care of me for a few days to make sure I'm all right. I doubt Synth will look too much into it, but Picker will probably feel a little concerned. And maybe I'm a selfish murmur for feeling this way, but I could really do with a little concern from her right now." "Why?" "It's a long story." Well, we have plenty of time if you want to talk about it, Sweetbat. I know, and I will. I just need a little time? Something like that. She smiled weakly at him. Okay, but if you're going to insist on staying at your place till this is sorted, at least have dinner with your Murmur and me tonight. His voice was as firm as the expression on his face. Okay, it would be nice not to eat alone. Near's night with the kids then? He sounded a little disappointed. Yeah, but you'll get to see them later anyway, remember? That's if you're still set on staying with me. Of course, Sweetbat. I was just thinking about your Murmur, that's all. She doesn't get many opportunities to see them. Well, I guess I could get Near to drop the kids off at your place before we leave. She pressed her lips together thoughtfully. It won't hurt for them to go to bed a little late just this once. That sounds like an absolutely lovely idea, Sweetbat. Hey, maybe we could pick up some little cakes for them to have, and going to bed a little late is one thing, Patch, but I won't have them go to bed late, high on sugar, or else they'll never sleep. She shot him a scolding look. Besides, between Near trying to apologise for not living with us anymore, and Cleo trying to make the kids like her, I'm sure they get plenty of treats on their Patch's nights anyway. Well, it would be hard to imagine the kids loving anyone more than they love you, he grinned. I won't be so sure about that, she sighed. Echo? It's okay, Patch, I'll tell you later, but once we're with Murmur, okay? I'd rather you both heard it from me, and just the once, okay? All right, Sweetbat, he nodded. So what do you say we find out if you're good to go yet or not? Sounds like a plan to me, Patch. She half-laughed. I'm getting a little tired at staring at these greyer-than-grey walls. This place is a little bleak, isn't it? And have they really kept you separate from the others like this? It was mine and Lilith's choice. We don't want people getting too hysterical about the situation. You know what actors are like. So why do the others think they're being kept here? Well, there was a fire, Patch. Obviously the police need to rule out arson. Ah, of course, he smirked. But won't they notice you're missing? They've been separated into smaller groups, so hopefully no one will. Well, no one but the other members of the crew, of course. But I'm pretty sure they won't say anything. Pretty sure? I told you there were other incidents, right? They already think someone's out to get me. And they're smart enough to know when to keep their mouths shut. Well, if you trust them, Sweetbat, then so do I. I trust them, Patch. So how about you get me out of here already? Echo woke that morning feeling strangely heavy and uncomfortable. She knew Mika had remained watching her for the rest of the previous day, although every time she spotted him he moved out of view. As much as she really wanted to trust him, a part of her couldn't help but shudder every time he entered her line of sight. She didn't know anything about him, and she didn't know anyone who would want to hurt her besides him. Okay, so maybe he didn't want to hurt her exactly, but maybe he wanted her to see him as some kind of hero or saviour, and... No, she pushed the thought away. If he was really behind everything, it was just too much to bear. In more than a little bit of a daze, she felt as though she sleepwalked through getting her children ready for school. Having a Patch there that morning really helped. There was just no way she would have been able to get through it on her own in the state she was in. No matter how she tried to justify those words to herself, she really didn't like thinking of herself in a state. She was frazzled, and more than a little tired from a restless night's sleep, that was all. She wasn't in a state. Just as the four of them were about to leave for the school run, the house phone began to ring. The noise was so shrill and loud, it made Echo start more than little. It's okay, Sweetbat, I'll get it. Her Patch shot her a sympathetic smile. Do you want us to wait for you? No, you go ahead and get the kids to school. I'll see you when you get back. Nodding stiffly, Echo ushered her children out of the door, and the three of them made their way towards the school. It was strange. Something in Echo's stomach told her the phone call was important somehow. She really didn't like the creepy feeling she had with every inch they moved away from the house. Everything in her wanted to go back and find out who it was, but she had to get the kids to school. Her inner turmoil made her stiff and a little unresponsive as Synth babbled away at her, but she couldn't help it. Too much had happened. Too much was going on. She felt as though she was going to explode, and if she was right about the phone call being important, then... Her mind was so full of thoughts, she could remember dropping her kids at the school gate and hugging them goodbye, but she couldn't remember arriving there or leaving again. She was almost halfway home before she really registered anything going on around her again, and when she did, she could almost sense Mika's eyes boring into her. She glanced around for him, but all she managed were a few scatty glimpses. She didn't know how that made her feel. She didn't want to know how that made her feel. She had to focus on not thinking about him right now, because she didn't know she could trust him. When she reached her bungalow, the front door was locked. For a few long moments she couldn't help but stare at it and frown. Had she locked the door before she left, or had her Patch used the key she'd given him to lock up before leaving himself? But why would he leave? Was the phone call really so urgent he couldn't wait till she got back to deal with it? Stray thoughts began knotting at her stomach. No matter what spin she tried to put on any of it, nothing about the situation looked good. Taking a deep breath in, she opened the door and made her way through the hallway to the kitchen. The fact it was empty confirmed nothing. The note left on the kitchen table, on the other hand. She moved swiftly towards it, picked it up and read the words several times over before they really began to register with her. What? She found herself almost choking out. It's not... No! Without hesitation, she crumpled the note into her pocket before making her way back out of the house. After making sure the front door was locked behind her, she made her way towards the police station. Her sister had been arrested, and she needed to find out why. The journey to the police station felt like it had taken forever, and the varying amounts of emotions Echoe had felt on the way made the whole thing seem like some kind of dream. Maybe more like a nightmare every time she remembered why she was heading this way. She wouldn't believe her sister was behind what had happened. Sure, the two of them had their differences, but they were still sisters, and Echoe had to believe that counted for something. As she arrived at the station, someone appeared in the corner of her vision. At first, she barely registered they were there. Then something made her frown and double-take. Whoever it was had positioned themselves somewhere which almost completely obscured them, but from what Echoe could see, it appeared to be Twigs. The first thought Echoe had about it was rather dismissive. Lilith had probably sent her to find out what was going on. But if Lilith had sent her, then why was she stood outside like this? Echoe already found the girl creepy enough as it was. It really didn't take much for something like this to run shivers up and down her spine. "Echoe, you're here." The familiar voice was soft and weepy sounding. Turning towards it, Echoe saw her murmur, Lexa Sweetcharm, huddled up on one of the chairs, looking small and mousy. Her eyes were red and her face was so pale even Echoe had a hard time recognizing her. "Murmur, what's going on? Why did they arrest Sunny?" "They think she did it. They think she tried to hurt you. I keep telling them she would never do that, but they won't listen to me. They say they have evidence, but how can they? I don't want to believe Sunny is capable of something like this." "I know." Echoe moved towards her. "I don't believe it for a second either." "Good. That's good. I was so afraid you..." She sucked in a deep and tearful breath. "Sorry, it's just all been too much for me. To be told there's evidence pointed towards one of my daughters trying to... This has to be some kind of mistake, Murmur. Sunny might be a moody little thing sometimes, but she doesn't aim to hurt people." Those words did something strange to Lexis's expression. It went tight and even a little whiter than before as her gaze shifted away. "Murmur, what is it? Is there something you're not telling me?" "Sunny..." She gave a slight cough. "Sunny wouldn't try to hurt you. I know she wouldn't. You have to believe that." "I do. I told you I don't think she could really hurt anyone." "Thank you." Her eyes lifted to meet with Echoe's. "Thank you for believing such good things about your sister, but..." Her gaze lowered. "But she's not the innocent little girl you think she is." "I never said I thought she was an innocent little girl. Just that she couldn't..." "Echoe, she could, that's the problem." Lex's voice was small. You don't know. You don't know what she's done in the past. I don't want you to see the worst in her, but..." She shuddered. "My Patch was a wicked man who would do whatever it took to get what he wanted, and he taught Sunny well." "What?" Echoe hesitated. "What has she done?" "Started rumours. Nasty, horrible lies to get people fired. Accusing them of all sorts of things and getting away with it because she was just a little girl. And then after he died..." She cut herself off and shook her head. "But there haven't been any rumours about anyone on this production, not as far as I know," she frowned. "And even if there were, this is in a whole different league to that." "I know, but..." "Rumours were just the tip of the iceberg when it came to the arsenal my Patch was carrying. He taught Sunny everything he knew. He turned her into Sonata. And if he was capable of doing something like this, and I know he was, then so is she. But I don't know. I always hoped she'd stay at the rumour stage. I don't believe she's capable of moving up the levels like this, not so quickly. But then, I just don't want to believe it's her. But every instinct in me is telling me this is his work. He's dead, she's alive, and I don't know what to think." "This isn't Sunny, Murmur." Echoe remained firm. "I don't think she hates me enough to skip rumours and head straight for attempted murder." "I hope you're right." Her smile was strangely weak. She has seemed mostly settled with this production. "Mostly?" "She never tells me what's going on in her head anymore, but I got the feeling she was working with someone she wished she wasn't. I figured it was you, especially with the way she was brooding, as if she didn't want to do anything this time, as if she had a reason not to do anything this time. And with you saying there hasn't been any rumours flying around, maybe she's trying to turn over a new leaf. I hope so. A small flicker pulled at her lips. I would love to meet that sweet little girl I haven't seen since she was 5 again. So would I. Her mama wrapped her arms around herself. Which is why I have to believe with all my heart this isn't her. But the doubts... Don't worry, Mama. I can carry the faith for both of us. Echoe placed a hand on her arm. It doesn't matter what evidence they have. I won't stop believing Sunny is innocent. Thank you. Her eyes studied Echoe gratefully. I just wish I knew where you get all this strength and confidence from, because it sure wasn't me. No, you're wrong. It was you. You and Patch. It would have been so easy for both of you to have just given in to Alonzo's wishes, given me up, or forced me to continue with the conversion therapy till it killed me. But you didn't. You kept me. You gave me the sweet charm name. You showed me you loved me no matter what he thought or felt or said or did. You showed me every day how much you wanted me, and that's what gives me strength. Everybody wants to know they're wanted, that they matter, and that's what Sunny needs right now. She needs our faith that she didn't do it, and to know that we love her no matter what. Said like only a murmur could. A murmur placed a hand on her cheek. Those should have been my words, not yours. They are your words, Mama. Echoe's face filled with a small but sad smile as she lowered her gaze. I just verbalized them for you.
Enjoyed what you've heard so far? Please consider subscribing to find out when the next part's being released. Thanks for watching. See ya!